Chennai. Think gleaming skyscrapers, the hum of tech hubs, a city racing forward.
Definitely a picture of modern progress.
But beneath that surface, something else is happening. A tradition, centuries old, well, it's fading. We're talking about the iconic horse stands.
Right, in places like Triplicane, Roipeta, Mylapore, they used to be everywhere.
Exactly. So today, we're doing a deep dive into why these horse stands are vanishing.
And it's more than just losing the horses, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We want to explore the heritage, the daily grind for the people involved, and what this all means for Chennai's soul as it modernizes.
Yeah, okay.
Because this really isn't just about animals. It feels like a piece of the city's identity is genuinely on the brink.
A significant piece. Yeah.
If you could travel back, say, a few decades, these stands weren't just functional staples.
Oh, not at all. They were community hubs, really.
Yeah.
Living, breathing parts of the neighborhood.
You'd see families chatting, kids playing nearby.
Oh, yeah, the sound of the hooves on the streets, that rhythmic clatter.
It was part of the soundscape, wasn't it? Like temple bells or market calls.
Completely integral. And the horses themselves were woven into life events.
Big ones, too, like weddings, the groom arriving on a decorated horse. That was a huge symbol.
Huge. Prestige, tradition, all rolled into one. And festivals, too, like Pongal or Deepavali.
Right. Adorned horses, part of the sacred parades, just central to the city's cultural pulse.
It's quite something to contrast that with today.
It really is.
The speed of this shift is, well, it's remarkable. It really throws into sharp relief the pressure that modernization puts on these deep-rooted traditions.
So as Chennai is marking its growth, August 23rd, 2025, the horse stands tell a totally different story.
A much quieter one. A story of decline, where you once had dozens of horses ready.
Now you might see just a handful.
Exactly. Handful remain. It's a stark contrast. It points to how quickly the city's values, or maybe just its operating realities, are evolving.
And it's not subtle, is it? The economics must be brutal, trying to keep horses in a modern metropolis like Chennai.
Brutal is a good word for it. The financial pressure is immense, almost unsustainable now.
Can you break that down a bit? Like, the daily cost for just one horse?
Sure. You're looking at around 500 rupees
Huh.
every single day.
Wow, just for feed?
Just
Wow.
for feed.
Hmm.
That doesn't even touch vet care, grooming, stable upkeep.
Yeah.
All of that adds up significantly.
So for someone like, say, K. Ramesh in Triplicane, who depends on this.
It's crushing. He told us, maybe 10 years back they'd have bookings almost every weekend. Now,
And much less.
they're lucky if they get 1 or 2 a month. The income just doesn't match the outflow anymore. Not even close.
Okay, so costs are through the roof. But what about the other side? The demand. Is anyone still hiring horses?
That plummeted too. It's a double whammy, really. Take modern weddings.
Sleek cars now. Maybe drones?
Exactly. Cars, drones. The traditional horse arrival feels almost quaint. A bit nostalgic, maybe, but not the default choice it once was.
And festivals.
Same story, pretty much. Many organizers prefer motorized floats now. They're easier, maybe cheaper in some ways.
So fewer temples use horses for their events.
Drastically fewer. We found only a handful in Chennai still consistently use horses for annual festivals. A generation ago, it was commonplace. It signals a real shift in cultural preference.
But it feels like more than just changing taste. You said something earlier about the ground itself disappearing.
Yes, that's a huge factor. Urbanization. Chennai's real estate market is booming, constantly hungry for space.
And stables need space.
They need space, often in areas that are becoming prime development land. There's that specific case in Mylapore.
Ah, yes.
A historic horse stand, there for generations, demolished in 2023.
For what?
A multi-story apartment complex. And when you look at land costs in central Chennai,
Expensive.
exorbitant, averaging around 10,000 rupees per square foot. How can a traditional horse keeper possibly compete with that? Or even afford to just hold on to the land?
They can. The physical space is just vanished.
It's being paved over, quite literally.
Which brings us to the human cost. Because behind the economics and the land issues, there are people, families.
Yes. And their stories are incredibly powerful. It's often about generational legacy being eroded.
Like K. Ramesh, you mentioned him earlier.
Right, Ramesh in Triplicane. He's third generation. His grandfather started back in the 50s when Chennai was still Madras.
Wow.
And he said something that really stuck with me. These horses are not just animals to us. They're family. They're part of our history.
You can feel the weight in that.
Definitely. He talked about his father teaching him everything, the feeding, the grooming, how to make them look magnificent for a procession. But the place he works, the all-Warpit horse stand,
How many are left there?
it's down from about 20 horses to just 5 now.
Just 5.
And the real worry for him, his son. He genuinely questions if there'll be any trade left for his son to even consider carrying on.
That's heavy. Such a sense of loss, potentially. Are there other stories like his?
Yes, many. We also spoke with M. Selvi in Royapeta,
Yeah.
a single mother, 2 kids. She took over the family stable after her husband passed away in 2020.
Tough situation.
Very. Her stable used to have 15 horses, now only 3.
Dang.
And 2 of those are too old to work anymore. But she keeps them.
Out of loyalty.
Pure loyalty. She told us, quite emotionally, I can't abandon them. They've carried so many dreams. Her words.
Mm.
They capture that deep personal sacrifice.
It really does.
It makes you ask, when a tradition is so bound up with family, identity, livelihood, what actually happens when the city changes so fast around it?
The cultural loss must be immense.
Immense. And it goes beyond just the families involved.
That's a crucial point. This isn't just about economics. It's hitting at Tamil Nadu's cultural heritage. Horses have always been significant here.
Absolutely. Think back to ancient Tamil literature. Poets celebrated warriors on horseback.
Yeah.
The horse was a symbol of valor, almost as important as the warrior.
And you still see echoes of that in rural areas.
You do. In
Yeah.
village festivals, horses are often still central, decorated, paraded. But here in urban Chennai, that tangible connection is, well, it's fraying badly.
We should probably bring in what the historians say here.
Yes. Dr. S. Narada at the University of Madras puts it very clearly.
What's her take?
She says, basically, horses in Tamil culture are not just animals. They're symbols of power, grace, and tradition. Losing the horse stands means losing a tangible link to our past.
Wow.
She calls it letting a piece of our identity slip away. And she also highlighted something else.
What's that?
How these stands used to be vital community spots, places to gather, share stories, pass down traditions. Kids learned to ride there. Elders shared memories of old Madras.
So their disappearance breaks those connections.
It fragments that social fabric, yeah. Those informal community bonds that, really make a neighborhood feel alive.
And amidst all this, the economics, the cultural loss, what about the animals themselves, the horses? This must be impacting their welfare terribly.
It is. And it's heartbreaking. Fewer bookings means less income for caretakers.
Which leads to cutting corners on care.
Exactly. Underfeeding, neglected health issues. We heard from Priya Menon, a volunteer with the Blue Cross of India.
What does she report?
A noticeable increase in abandoned horses found on the outskirts of Chennai.
Oh, no.
She described finding this once beautiful mare, just emaciated, trying to forage near the city limits, barely able to stand. She said it's devastating. These animals are bred for work, and when the work dries up,
They're just left.
often left to fend for themselves, starving, injured. It ties directly back to the owner's economic struggles. They simply can't afford proper care when the money isn't coming in.
Has there been any attempt by the government to step in, any welfare program
There was an initiative. The Tamil Nadu government introduced a welfare program back in 2022.
aimed at helping these keepers?
Yes, the idea was subsidies for feed, veterinary support.
Mm.
But its effectiveness has been really limited.
Why is that? Bureaucracy, funding.
Both, really.
Hmm.
Lots of bureaucratic hurdles, complex application forms that are hard for struggling caretakers to navigate, and crucially, not enough funding allocated.
So the help doesn't actually reach the people who need it most.
Not consistently, no. The funds run out, or the process is just too daunting. So they're left without that vital support for basic care, let alone vet emergencies.
And all these specific challenges facing the horse stands, they're happening against the backdrop of Chennai just transforming rapidly, right?
Absolutely. You can't look at this in isolation. Think about the city's infrastructure growth, the metro rail expansion in 2024.
Great for commuters, maybe, but
But it eats up land.
yeah.
And there are plans for more lines. One potential corridor, for instance, might displace another horse stand out in Coimbatore.
And the sheer number of people.
Chennai's population is over 9 million now, and growing fast. That means constant demand for housing, offices, roads. Everything puts pressure on land, squeezing out traditional spaces like stables.
It's a relentless pressure.
It really is.
And then you layer environmental concerns on top of all that.
Precisely. That adds another complex dimension. Chennai's air quality isn't great. It was ranked among India's worst in a 2021 report.
So there are moves to clean it up.
Yes. proposals for things like low-emission zones, LEZs, to restrict polluting vehicles in certain areas.
Which sounds good, but how does that impact the horse stands?
Well, it's tricky. These LEZs, while aiming for cleaner air, could inadvertently affect the stands. Horses need open space for grazing, exercise, just operating. If policy pushes them further out, away from the city center, away from potential clients,
It makes survival even harder.
even more precarious, yeah.
Hmm.
So you have this convergence. Progress, tradition, economic hardship, and even environmental policy, all intersecting right at these horse stands.
It sounds almost overwhelming. Are there any signs of hope, any stories of people managing to adapt or fight back?
There are, thankfully, some really inspiring examples of resilience.
Like what?
In Paramber, for instance, a group of horsekeepers got together. Led by a man named V. Kumar, they formed a cooperative.
What does the cooperative do?
They pool their resources, buy feed in bulk to get better prices, split vet bills. It's not a magic bullet, but it helps them cut costs significantly and keep things running.
That's smart. Any other innovations?
We heard about K. Ramesh again, the third-generation keeper. He started diversifying,
How so?
offering horse riding lessons to kids. Apparently, there's a growing interest among some wealthier families in Chennai. He said, it's not the same as a wedding procession, but it's something. It keeps the stables open.
Finding new niches. That makes sense. Is technology playing any part?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
There was an app launched in 2024 called Hooves of Heritage.
Okay, what's the idea there?
Basically, to connect the horse owners directly with event planners, tourists, anyone looking for that traditional experience.
Has it helped?
It seems to have helped a few owners get bookings they might not have otherwise. So, a glimmer of hope there.
Yeah.
But its reach is still quite limited. Not everyone's online, especially some of the older keepers.
Right. Digital literacy can be a barrier.
Definitely.
It's striking, though. You have these individual efforts, cooperatives, even apps.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's still a big gap in official support from the government.
That's a really crucial point. There seems to be a policy blind spot.
How so?
Well, think about this. In 2023, the state government allocated 50 crore rupees, a significant amount, to restore historic temples and cultural sites, which is great, very important work.
But nothing for the horse keepers.
Exactly. No specific funds were earmarked for supporting traditional trades like horsekeeping that are also part of that heritage.
So they value the buildings, but not necessarily the living traditions.
It highlights a disconnect. Intangible heritage gets talked about, but the actual living, breathing, often struggling people and practices that embody that heritage, they get overlooked.
What could be done, policy-wise? Dr. Inarada had suggestions.
She did. Things like targeted subsidies specifically for feed or vet care, maybe tax breaks for the keepers, or even designating certain areas as heritage zones where stables could operate with some protection.
Recognizing their cultural value beyond just a business transaction.
Precisely. It's about sustaining a living heritage, not just preserving relics.
It really brings it all together, what we're seeing in Chennai. It's like a small picture of a struggle happening everywhere, isn't it? This tension between progress, development, and holding on to heritage.
A universal story playing out in a very specific, poignant way.
And these horse stands with their, dusty stables but proud caretakers, they're such a powerful reminder of a different Chennai, a Chennai that moved at another pace.
Where maybe community and culture felt a bit more central sometimes.
So for you listening, this isn't just a story about Chennai. It's really about thinking about what traditions we value in our own communities, wherever we are, and asking what can actually be done.
We heard some ideas. Community initiatives, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Heritage festivals that actively feature horse processions could create demand?
That's a great idea. Or schools getting involved, visits to the stands, teaching kids about this part of their culture.
Businesses could step up too, sponsoring events, perhaps.
And even on a personal level, right?
Yeah.
Just choosing to attend an event that uses horses or learning more about the people involved, sharing their stories.
Raising awareness can make a difference. It sounds small, but it adds up.
Which leads to the big question, doesn't it? As Chennai speeds ahead, driverless metros, IT corridors, all of it.
Yeah.
Will that soulful sound, the clatter of hooves, just become a forgotten echo? Something you only read about in history books? Or will the city, its people, its leaders, its businesses find a way to keep that ancient rhythm alive somehow, to weave it into the modern symphony, ensuring that this unique piece of Chennai's identity actually endures?
That really is the question, isn't it? What future does this past have?